What's up, guys? NBA Talk. Happy Mother's Day. In this video, I'll be talking about Golden State Warriors versus Portland. So by the time you watch this video, you might be watching it some like other time or other day or whatever. But this video has been recorded on Mother's Day, right? It could be uploaded today, or late tomorrow, right? I know it's a very late video, but I'll go through real quick of my prediction of Golden State Warriors versus the Trailblazers, right? Or Portland Trailblazers, Golden State Warrior, right? So let's just make a quick recap of what happened in the previous series of the Golden State Warrior versus Houston Rocket and Portland Trailblazers versus the Denver Nugget, right? I'll make like a 5-minute recap, then I'll do the prediction, right? Yeah, so Golden State Warrior versus Rocket. Warrior obviously finished the Houston Rocket in 6, right? Yeah, and the Houston Rocket had like multiple opportunity of taking over the series, right? And they have failed to beat the Warrior again like last year, right? Choking. Like this team like always choke for some reason, right? I mean last year, they missed like 27 straight threes, but this time they always choke in the fourth quarter. Like this is why like the Warrior beat them like last game, right? The Houston Rocket, they could have won game 1, they could have won game 2 or game 5 or game 6, right? The Rocket could have like eliminated the Warriors. But no, they have failed to do so. And I'll tell you why like the Rocket could eliminate the Warrior because, Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins went down injury, right? Yes, I know that when Warrior gets injured, they tend to be more vulnerable and exposed than when they're not injured. It means common sense. When your best player is injured, then you obviously this team is not gonna play well, right? Look how the way they play Game 5, Game 6, the minute Kevin Durant exit, right? The Warriors actually played better without like Kevin Durant. Surprisingly, it just surprised everyone. Like, oh, like without Kevin Durant, Warriors can't beat the Rocket, right? They did beat the Rocket. They still can, you know, run the Rocket out of the building. You know why they can beat the Rocket? Well, first of all, they play harder, right? I mean, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, like the entire Golden State Warriors, like even their bench, like step it up, right? And that's what happened, right? And the Rocket always choke in the fourth quarter. Like the very last quarter they ever playing before the season ended, they were outscored by like 10 points, right? Just like James Harden, the entire Rocket, they just choke, missing bunch of shot and playing very poor defense. I mean, that was the Houston Rockets' problem, right? So yeah, so I think enough with the recap against the Houston versus Warrior, and yeah, I know that the Rocket, they had the best opportunity to blow out the Warrior, right? Same thing with last year, right? I know that Chris Paul was now injured and Warrior took care of the opportunity to beat the Rocket, right? In 7. But this year, Rocket could have won game 6 or possibly game 7 or 5 or 4. Like they could have won like a couple more games and the Warrior season would have ended, right? Yeah, because I know that Warriors are playing lousy and they're getting worse and they're declining and they're looking more exposed. Like they have like weaknesses and they're like giving like teams opportunity to like beat them, but the other team just like fails to do so, not playing well, and having their problems, and that's the Houston Rocket, right? They just have chances that they just fail to use, right? So anyway, man, let's get into the Portland Trailblazers versus the Denver Nugget as a summary, right? This series was very exciting, the most entertaining series I ever heard. I hope you don't miss a game of it, but yeah, I'm sorry that I can't talk about the Portland versus the Denver Nugget game. Like, I wish I can do a summary of it on this video, but I cannot because I am so busy with work. Like, I cannot upload a lot of videos for you guys, right? Yes, and I have so many things to do. So but I overheard. I heard that when people watch the Portland versus Denver, Blazer versus Denver, like Nuggets, like this was the most exciting series. You know why? Not just only went to game 7, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, most of the games, were pretty close, just like the Warrior versus Rocket, and obviously, it's obviously because of game 3. That is the best game I ever seen in my life. Is Portland versus Denver game 3. Like, when going to 4 overtime, I'm like, oh my god, this game lasted for 4 hours, and yeah, both teams were really exhausted, right? Especially the Nurkic, I mean Nikola guy, right? The center, right? Yeah, he was really exhausted. Like, you playing 4 overtime, so how many minutes? That's like 68 minutes total game regulation. Yeah, because obviously a game regulation lasts 48 minutes, right? And playing 4 overtime. It almost won the fifth overtime. If the Nikola, I forgot his name, but if that guy didn't miss a free throw, right, from the Denver Nuggets, if he didn't miss a free throw and if they didn't foul the Portland Trailblazer, then oh my goodness, this could have gone to fifth overtime, right? Yeah, I know that at this point, when you're playing too much overtime, like they just have to call it a draw or call it a tie. But I don't know what happened when they play so many overtime. Like, people don't want to stay up late, like watching like a 4 hour game or a 5 hour game. Like, they obviously have to go bed and stuff. But yeah, I guess playoff, special season, like it only happens like once a year or something like that. Like, we never had an overtime like in like many decades, like 50 years. Like, this is like absolutely insane. Like, game 3 was so amazing. Like, Portland, then like Blazer, Denver Nuggets. Like, I didn't expect the Nugget and the Portland play this much better in the season, right? They were way better than they were last season. Like, they improved a lot, and Denver seems to be improving a lot. But I was, but yeah, I think the NBA predicted that the Denver Nuggets will head to the conference final against the Golden State Warriors, but that's not the case. I picked the Portland Trailblazer, right? Didn't I say Portland's gonna eliminate Denver? Yes, because I know that they're gonna win at least one game at the Denver, But turns out in Game 4, Portland should have won that game, but obviously they stole Game 7, so that's the thing. Because Denver has more home court, but however, they lost 2 games at home, but then they went to Portland, the Nuggets, and beat the Nuggets. I mean, they went to Blazers and beat the Blazers, right? The Denver Nuggets, right? Yeah. I was so surprised. Like, man, oh man. Like, this, everybody's talking about it, man. Like, this is so crazy. Like, the game was so intense stuff, but except for game 5, game 5 was kind of like a blowout, right? The Nuggets, like, they just leaked the entire game and they just totally blew out the Blazers. And Blazers had a really bad game in game 5, right? Every other game was okay, right? But game 3, was fantabulous, right? Amazing, outstanding. Like, just missing like those clutch shots, just missing those free throws, yes, can delay to overtime, right? And also, there was an overtime, versus the Houston Rocket versus the Golden State Warriors. I mean, back to that series again, But I honestly would want to see Game 7, right? And I know that Rocket couldn't get the job, done at home. They never won in Oracle. Only win just Game 3 and 4, pretty much very close game, Like, Warrior could have easily swept the Rocket like 4-0, in my honest opinion. I forgot to mention that part. If they were fully healthy, if they were playing really hard, right? Honestly, like Rocket's been putting up a lots of 3, right? Still couldn't get the job done. But anyway, let's go to the Golden State Warrior versus the Portland Trailblazers, right? How do you obviously know that the Blazers cannot handle the Warrior, right? We know that they're a super dangerous team, They are the next best team against the Houston Rocket. Houston Rocket has is the best team that can, that can beat the Warrior, but somehow couldn't get the job done, right? I mean, I say Blazers maybe the next, best team, best chance, that go against the Golden State Warrior, right? Yeah, I say that the Golden State Warriors are definitely going to win this series, but you're probably not going to be a sweep, right? I know that Portland has to win like at least one game. If they don't win a game against Golden State Warrior, then oh my gosh, that would be embarrassing. Just like last year, against the New Orleans Pelicans, that's like sweep the Blazers like 4-0, right? I don't care, you're playing against the best team in the NBA. You have to win at least one game. Like fans of the Portland Trail Blazers, they're going to be really upset if they don't win a single game against the Golden State Warrior. They have to win the game, at least. Especially, despite with the injuries and stuff from the Golden State Warrior, right? I don't know how long Kevin Durant and DeMarcus are out for, but I pray that they come back sooner, so that way they make the game a little more interesting. But yeah, I think it's best, just let the Golden State Warrior, try to make them play a little harder so they can get better. That way they can keep their dynasty and make them last a little longer, right? I feel like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Andre Iguodala, the entire Golden State Warrior just really needs to step it up if they want to win, right? In my perspective, I think the Warriors are gonna finish the Portland Trail Blazers in 5, right? The Bay Area Golden State Warrior, right? And I'll tell you like why they're gonna finish Portland Trail Blazers in Game 5, right? Because I know that Portland Trail Blazers sometimes chokes in the playoff, especially what happened in Game 5, right? I know that Game 5, like Portland, like out of nowhere, like they're just choking, and it was disappointing, right? Almost lost like 30 points to Denver Nugget, right? Yeah, I just got a feeling like they're gonna choke one of these games, right? And Warriors, I know that one of these games, like Warriors gonna blow out the Portland Trail Blazers, right? There's definitely gonna be a blowout, like 10 plus points. So, and the rest of the game maybe it'll be a little bit closer, maybe around somewhere around 10 points, points per win against Portland Trailblazer. Like, I know that Trailblazers have their bench, right? If their bench is not alive and if they don't produce, then Golden State Warrior, it'll be a 4-0 series, right, for Golden State Warrior. But if their bench steps up, maybe they can like delay to Game 5 or Game 6, right? But there is a 20% possibility that the Portland Trail Blazer might drag the Golden State Warrior to Game 7, right? Because I got a feeling like, yeah, Warrior may play, you never know, right? Golden State Warrior may play lazy just like they did against the LA Clipper, right? They may play lazy like 1 or 2 game and they might get beaten in Oracle Arena and Portland may drag it to Game 7. Who knows, man? Who knows? Because I didn't think the Clippers going to drag this long to Game 6, right? But Portland tends to be a little bit more like better than the Clipper. They're much better than the Clipper in my perspective, right? Like, this has to be at least Game 5. But no way, like, they're sweeping the Warriors. Like, no way. I don't see that's happening, right? Yeah, even though, because Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, at some point, the Warriors will figure out, like, how to shut these guys down. Even though, their bench is shooting, right? But their bench does not produce as much as comparing to, like, the main play, right? Obviously, Warrior has, like, possibly, like, 6 All-Star. They have Iggy, Steph, Klay, Kevin Durant. DeMarcus might come back, but then they're not gonna play as well as they were because like when they call an injury, they're not gonna shoot well or defend well, right? So let me get into let me say like how the series is gonna go with the Warrior versus Trailblazers, right? The Warriors are probably definitely gonna win 2 games in the Oracle Arena, right? I mean, for you to beat the Golden State Warrior, it's gonna be nearly impossible. Even though without Kevin Durant, right? They just proved that they can beat any team without the roster. People tend to forget like what happened with the Warriors without Kevin Durant. I remember they were, they had the same roster. They win. They only lost 9 games without Kevin Durant. They get no additional help. They built their own team. They built their own squad. They only lost 9 games. Yes, and they were about to sweep the Cavaliers in 2016, but somehow they choke. Like, and also remember, like Klay Thompson, remember the same team that like recruit Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Blew a 3-1 lead, right? Yes, that's the Golden State Warrior, right? If you remember that part, you know, without Kevin Durant, right? That's how they recruit good players in the first place, right? Yes, like I said, man, sometimes they play better without Kevin Durant, right? Yeah, so, you know, just saying, man, like, Portland's are not going to win a single game. They're not going to win any game in Oracle Arena, to be honest, right? They might, but probably not. Not the first two games. I mean, let's say that the Warrior came unprepared in game one, right? I mean, probably, you know, Portland may take that game one, right? If they take game one, then Golden State are definitely going to be, you know, definitely going to win game two, right? If Portland beat at the Oracle Arena in game two because of overconfidence stuff, let's say that the Warrior blew out the Blazer, then, you know, game two's here and Warriors just got lazy stuff, but I don't see that's happening. Like, Warriors are playing serious, you know. Definitely by the time they go back to fly back to Portland, definitely Warriors gonna take a 2-0 series. And then let's say that game three, you know, game three, let's say that Dame Time, CJ McCollum, the other guy, Enes Kanter, they got Mew guy, and they got Seth Curry. Oh man, I forgot to say something about the series. Man, I forgot to say something. Do you know what happens when a Portland meet Golden State Warrior? You get to see two Steph Curry, right? Not necessarily two Steph Curry, I mean, you get to see Stephen Curry and you get to see Seth Curry. Yes, the two brother Curry. That is so coincidence, man. Like, oh my gosh, they're in the conference final, like playing against each other. Yeah, I feel bad, you know, for the other brother. Like, his team's gonna get eliminated by his brother Steph Curry, right? Oh my God, this is what a coincidence, man. Like the two Curry brothers. Yeah, I just point that out to you guys. So, yep, don't need to comment below about it. You know, I already showed you my coincidence, right? Yes. You know, let's say that. Anyway, let's go back to game three. So game three, you know, Golden State Warrior, they're probably gonna lose, right? They have to lose either game three or game four because Portland, you know, they're not gonna let you win at their place that easy, right? And I know that they're gonna get hot in the fourth quarter, right? Yes, I mean you have to lead double digit, you know, like Golden State Warrior, they also tend to choke in the fourth quarter too, but right, but not as bad as the Houston Rocket, right? But then I know that the Golden State Warrior, for them to win in Portland for sure, or to have a 80% chance of winning at Portland, they have to lead 10 point double digit by the start of fourth quarter. And if they fail to lead double digit, and if they choke in the fourth quarter, then there goes their game, man. There goes to Portland, and Portland's gonna steal a game or defend their home court advantage, right? And then say that Warriors are now currently 3-1 lead, right? And then, you know, by the time it gets to game five, you know, Portland Trailblazers, like, they have absolutely no answer to the Golden State Warriors, and Golden State Warriors are just gonna sweep them, like if they were like nothing, right? Yes, and I don't know how it's gonna work for Portland, but if they steal a home game at Oracle, then maybe they'll win the game six. Maybe Warriors in six, right? Because they just go back to the Portland Trailblazer and beat the Blazer like in clobber them, right? Yes. And I don't think Warriors ever gonna plan to make a series go to 7. They're not. It's not gonna happen, right? At all, right? And then Warriors gonna walk into their final, right? And also another thing to mention, like, yes, Portland has an injury. You know, the Nurkic guy. You know, yes, Joseph Nurkic. Yes, he's injured. They're missing a center, so that's gonna be another big disadvantage against the Golden State Warrior, right? cause now you know they have all their like small forwards and stuff, right? Golden State Warriors like their plays are a little bigger, so size disadvantage. So, but then you know Portland might be a little faster than Golden State Warrior, right? But Golden State Warrior also fast, so I don't know like how the Portland is gonna match up with the Golden State Warrior. I mean Trailblazers, right? I don't really get it. But it'll be very people will be very happy if the Blazer can somehow you know beat the Golden State Warrior, right? This is not gonna happen. Like this might be in your dream, like this may come true, but in reality, it's not gonna happen. I'm picking the Golden State Warrior. Everybody's picking Golden State Warrior. Like Portland's are not gonna head. Blazers are not gonna head to the finals. They're not. Honestly, right? Because Warrior, you know, they're not going to get any more injury problem, and they're becoming smarter now, and they're not, and they're going to play serious from now on. So they know that Houston Rocket almost beat them, right? Even though they just only win 2 games, right? So that's it. I have to leave and goodbye, and I'll be making the Bucks versus you know the Raptors, right? Right after this. So peace out and enjoy the next video.